$1, Frank. That's how I saw it. 498, 40, 60. The market's going against us. We're exposed on the 100 million we're holding. We're going to have to bail out.
We're going to take a whopping loss.
We can't buck the tide any longer. Let me know the damage when you've finished.
All right, got you. Okay, we'll see you.
Hold the phones.
Hold on.
Okay, no arguments. Everybody cover their short currency positions. Buy yen, sterling, francs, marks. Sell dollars. We've got 100 million to dump. No haggling over prices.
Get me a couple of London banks.
$1 off.
How much?
2% against the mark in the last 20 minutes. It started in Frankfurt.
No, I think you'll find it started about 10 blocks from here. At Borough National, as a matter of fact. They're in trouble. Bailing out of their long dollar position, dumping about 100 million on the market. Keep talking. Let me know if it slides further or hits the next big number.
Frankfurt, Borough National, New York. You're a dollar Deutsche Mark, bitte. Achtenkreuzig 40. Sie haben drei, bitte. Would you like to make it? Can you make me a mark in a spot, French?
Give me another market. Give me another 2 minutes off the 30, 50, 20, 30.
One market, please. Two. Right. Hello, Borough National. Yeah, what are you trading French?
Yeah, what's your spot on you?
10 million. 10 million. Very good. 3. You only do 3?
35 million.
You're looking for sterling.
Good.
It's dollar yen, please. 5 at 75. What? Make it 2. That's 4. Okay. Sie haben 3. Sie haben 3. Ah. Yeah. Danke. 4. Take it. Give me one. Just give me that. Hey, you owe me a deal.
Sell 5 at 4. Take a lousy 2.
All right, that's just 1. Yeah, look at 2. How about 4? All right, 2. Oh, come on, help me out. What do you mean it's not market? What do you mean it's coming? So it's Christmas.
It looks like we're having a little trouble.
You're up in the street. It got word we're dumping. Dollar's dropping like a rock.
All right, we better go in. Long on dollars, start with Paris. And tell Borough National they can have 40 mil on Interbank. We're going to have to find someone to ride shotgun over there. I'm not taking this roller coaster again.
Earlier this week, the dollar slipped 50 points. It recovered, but there are a lot of people who say things are going to get worse before they get better. Others in the banking community say it was just a flutter. But if there's one thing all of us worry about, it's money. Our money. In this case, of course, the dollar. Here tonight to discuss the dollar is Maxwell Emery, president of the First New York Bank. Mr. Emery has sometimes been called the lion of American banking.
The dollar's been under pressure so frequently in our history. I don't think these times are exceptional. We go through regular cycles of anxiety. In fact, we're an anxiety-prone people.
But we've never had anxiety with so much reason behind it. Since 1974, when the Arabs started increasing the price of oil, they've amassed billions of dollars. Until now, they've been very kind to leave that money, largely in American banks. Mr. Emery, has there ever been such a concentration of wealth in the hands of one group before?
No, I think probably not. But I assure you, their interests are ours.
Have a good time. Charlie will be by later. He's working late at the office. See you then. Enjoy yourself.
Want an educated opinion? You're not going to get a glamour boy like Hubblesmith to run a rescue operation over there. He won't touch it with a fork.
He might, if the payoff is big enough.
Yes, sir. Could I have a white wine and a scotch on the rocks? Well, Max, I hear you rode in on your white horse. Tailed out for our national.
Well, that fellow down there has tried, but he's overmatched.
I sure feel sorry for the poor son of a bitch who tries to turn that mess around.
I said I'd help them, but only if they take my boy. Want to hear the deal?
I don't know, Max. I did my time in the trenches when I was running those problem loans for you. I had enough crash and burn.
I consider it a personal favor.
With those turkeys, a Borough National miracle would be a better word.
Now, why do you piss cold water on it when you know you're interested?
What makes you so sure?
The guy who turns them round is going to be hero of the week. And we both know that you're restless, ambitious, and a sucker for a chance at a star play.
It's the spirit that built the West.
Has either one of you seen Lee Winters?
Last time I saw her, she was over by the band. Something wrong?
Charlie Winters has been murdered. The mugger broke into his office, knifed him.
Oh, my God.
Isn't it? What is this? Hello, Bill.
Lee, could I talk to you alone? Would you excuse us?
What is it, Hub?
Nothing. I was just thinking about the illusion of safety.
Yes.
You were inquiring about Charlie Winters the other day. I'm sorry to have to tell you that he's dead. I was struck by the coincidence.
Charles Winters. I'm sorry to hear about that.
I'm sorry to hear about it, too.
I just wanted you to be aware. Good night.
Police have concluded that Charles Winters was murdered by a burglar who panicked when Winters, who was working late, surprised him. No other motivations for his murder have been found. At his funeral yesterday in New York, his widow, ex-film star Lee Winters, was accompanied by leading members of the corporate and financial world. And so Lee Winters, the poor girl who came out of the dirt hills of Arkansas to achieve stardom as the glamorous Ashley Norman, one of Hollywood's most respected actresses, and who at the very height of her career gave it all up to become the wife of a great American industrialist, played today her toughest role. Where to go from here? There are rumors that things are not what they once were in the troubled petrochemical empire built by Charlie Winters. Now facing the critical question of who will become its next chairman. And now in a life...
Don't take too long. Hurry back down. Gabby, would you take my book?
Yeah, we're all with Twitter. Let me have your dollar.
Question is he ready for us? I've had a balance sheet worked up and a summary of assets. Is there anything else you might need?
Oh, nothing special. Your interim financials, maybe. Something showing your cash position, loan position, deposits. Also a P&L statement if you got one. The maturity schedules on your commercial paper, classifications on your loan portfolio, maybe the last examiner's report. Oh, and your current profit breakdown.
You sure that'll be enough?
For a start.
Cheers. Well, Doctor, you've been on the case for a while now. What's the prognosis? Will the patient live?
The patient's been dead for 6 months and doesn't know it.
Come on now. It's not that bad.
No? Roy, I salute you. Borough National's your masterpiece.
Well, we may have to tighten our belt.
Try it around your neck.
Okay. I'll call Emery. You can bail out.
No, I took this trip without a parachute. This is when the fun begins.
Look, Smith, this is not some sort of game.
Yes, it is. That's exactly what it is. You keep talking about system, Roy, and that's your problem. You can't beat the system, but you can win a game.
How?
First, we have to find a way to get some profit in here now. Nothing earth-shaking, just 3 or 4 million so we can meet that dividend and give ourselves a little time to breathe. A nice, hungry customer so we can give them a big, fat loan, say a couple $100 million, and collect the commission.
Where are we going to get that kind of money?
I'll find the money. What we need right now is a customer. What we really need is a company even more in the shit house than we are, if that's possible. Sit down, Roy. Talk to me about the Winterchem Petrochemical Corporation.
We're loaned out to them to the legal limit. No matter how hungry they are, we can't give them a thing.
Not even lunch?
I want to start by telling you what you're dying to hear. We don't need to borrow another dime.
Well, I don't know what to say.
All we have to do is scale down a little. Think in more modest terms, and we should weather the storm.
I don't think it makes any sense at all. It's wrong. You can't cut back on this company and expect it to ever grow again. The replacement cost would be astronomical.
Lee, I'm sure we're grateful for the interest you've taken in Winter Chem, all the public relations time you put in for the company. And I know how you must feel, especially now that Charlie's gone.
Henry, don't patronize me. You, of all people, should know where we went wrong. We let the competition walk away with the technology. But instead of cutting back, we should be investing in R&D. Keep the plants going until new products can be developed.
Financed how?
Well, we'll just get ourselves a moneymaker. There's a small petrochemical plant in Spain at Valencia. They're in place. Their balance sheet looks real good. And they're for sale, Warner. We'd have to invest in some updating and a sure feedstock. But if we get it, we're going to be buying ourselves a real cash flow machine.
Lee, I hear what you're saying, but that kind of capital is simply not available.
I'm sorry, good people. I'm running late. Roy, you'll have to fill me in on the rest of this later. Miss Winters?
Henry, delighted to have met you.
Oh, wonderful to see you. That's a hell of a fella. I think we're going to enjoy working with him.
Let me speak with Lee Winters, please. He's at the far corner table.
Lee, you're going to be opening the Palm Beach house soon? Sorry, Mr. Winters. Hopefully.
Thank you. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yes, this is Mrs. Winters.
How good are you keeping a straight face? Because your Valencia deal happens to be full of holes.
Helen, I can't talk now. I'm at a luncheon meeting. If you have some messages for me, what?
Try this on Helen. Number one, what about currency translation? The Spanish plant has peseta obligations. If peseta goes up, your dollar earnings won't be worth a plate of frijoles. Two, how about labor stability? Half the country's busy slipping bombs in the pockets of the other half. Three, Winter Chem's tapped out with this at Burra National. How do you figure to fund the acquisition?
I see. Is that all, Helen?
Sorry, but I didn't want to embarrass you in front of Tweedledum and Tweedledee there. Since it's obvious that you want to be the new chairman of the board.
No, absolutely not. Would you tell him I'm out of town, please? I'm sorry. Some people just don't understand business.
Absolutely. Of course we're going to show a profit.
One, their currency may be unstable, but they have to sell in international markets, which means our dollar wouldn't be affected. Two, the Spanish labor market happens to be relatively strike-free, which you would have known if you'd bothered to check, as I did. And three, there are other banks that can recognize a sound investment when they see one. As for that chairman of the board remark, Mr. Smith, I don't know what you're talking about.
How much stock did you say her husband left her?
You were saying?
I thought we ought to have a drink on.
On what exactly?
Your future at Winnicam. Scotch, if you don't mind, with a twist.
Mr. Smith, you must have me confused with an executive. They tolerated me on the board as a courtesy to Charlie, but now that he's gone, I'm just an ex-movie star coasting into the sunset.
And certainly not someone who's going to throw him a curveball at lunch about a Spanish petrochemical plant. I'd say you coast pretty good. Where'd you learn the moves?
Charlie involved me a lot in the business. And when I was an actress, I had my own company. I made my own deals. Charlie always says I have... Charlie used to say I had good instincts. Well, we're playing the classic scene, aren't we? The banker and the widow.
I'm sorry, I guess this is all too soon.
Of course it's too soon. Everything's too soon, isn't it? The company's in trouble too soon, Charlie died too soon. So what?
It'd be funny, wouldn't it, if the banker helped the widow walk off with the chairmanship?
Hilarious. You mind telling me how?
Your Valencia deal.
I thought you said it was full of holes.
I thought you said you didn't want to be chairman. Which is too bad, because Ackerman's just blowing smoke about all this so-called support. Nobody really wants to sell off. Nobody wants to be on the board of a shrinking company. You nail that deal, you have a real shot.
Providing they took me seriously.
Come up with a $500 million to buy that plant, they'll take you seriously, all right. All you need is the okay from Ackerman to go after it. Now I'm in a position to put you together with the money. There are risks involved.
I've never been afraid of risks.
That was Scotch, with a twist.
For one thing, I'm not going to get the okay. And for another thing, aren't you the man that told me Winterchem was borrowed out with the bank?
I'm the man.
Well, then where's the money supposed to come from?
Private placement, outside source.
Direct?
Through an agent I know. We'd have to negotiate with his people. Probably be a joint venture if they put up the capital and share the profits.
And the bank collects 1% for setting it up. On $500 million, that's $5 million profit. No risk to you. You have a very profitable sense of humor, Mr. Smith.
You wouldn't deny me a little incentive, would you?
Was that on the rocks or straight up?
Of course, we do have to handle her very carefully.
Yes. She is sitting on the largest block of company stock.
If she sells her stock to some outfit that wants to take over, we could all be out in our collective ass.
I say to hell with her damn stock. What's she gonna do, unload 600,000 shares? That's her meal ticket. This isn't the Washington Post, and she's not Katharine Graham. And I'll tell you something else. That woman is not gonna negotiate any deals for this management. Ever. Would you ask Mrs. Winters to come in, please? Next thing you know, she'll want to be chairman of the board.
Now, Lee, we want you to know you'll always have a home at Winterchem. And remember, we'll always be happy to hear any suggestions you might have.
Mr. Ackerman, please. At least we didn't overestimate him. Hello. Warner, this is Hub.
Hi, what's up?
Nothing special. I just thought it was time we sat down and had a talk about rescheduling your loans. Maybe lunch next week.
How about Thursday?
Right, fine. By the way, I had a talk with that Japanese conglomerate that's buying up every company in sight.
Did you?
Yeah, Shigemitsu Han. They want to talk about the Winterchem financials.
Oh?
Of course I wouldn't, but I thought you ought to know.
Well, no problem. They tried to take us over last year, but they couldn't get their hands on enough stock.
Well, in that case, we can all relax. So where do you guys like to eat?
How about the bibliothèque next Thursday at 1?
Thursday at 1, right.
See you then.
I can't wait to see their faces when they think I'm going to sell my stock.
Hello?
Helen?
Yes, Mrs. Smith.
Would you contact the representative of Shigemitsu Han and ask him if we can have lunch Thursday at 1?
Thursday at 1.
So she won't sell her stock, huh? Good move, Warner.
Well, I'm starved. How about you guys?
I could use a drink. So could I.
How did I do?
Ackerman didn't eat a bite.
How long do we have to wait?
As long as it takes.
If it takes.
Patience, patience. They have to huddle first, look unconcerned, get back to the office and argue a little bit. They're probably flipping a coin right now to see who has to make the call. Yeah. Right, put them on. Guess who lost? Hey, Warner, long time no see.
Hi. Listen, Hub, I know you'll think I'm nuts, but we may let Lee Winters check out the financing on that Spanish thing after all. She's got an idea she can find the $500 million somewhere privately. She'll probably give away the family jewels to get it.
Would it make you any happier if I kept an eye on her for you?
Jesus, could you? That'd be really terrific. We don't want to look like total idiots.
Consider it done.
Hub, I want you to know we'll always be grateful.
Just your friendly neighborhood banker. They'll always be grateful. And we're not there yet. You still have to meet the agent for the $500 million tonight at Emery's.
Any ideas on how I should handle it?
Straightforward. We've got nothing to hide. Do we?
Please, Miss Winters. Excuse me. I know this isn't the time and place, but did your husband ever mention Jerry Fuster? There's someone named Fuster. Did your husband ever mention anything about him?
In what connection?
You mean he didn't?
I don't know. What would it have been about?
No. If he didn't mention it, that's fine. That's fine.
What did you say the name was?
No, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry I bothered you.
Excuse me, does he work here?
You mean Mr. Fuster? He's one of the federal bank examiners who come in.
He's very nervous.
I don't believe Mr. Winters told her anything. She looked right at me. She didn't know what I was talking about. That's my trait.
Well, if you hear from her again, we expect to hear from you. Okay? Not gonna eat your hot dog, huh?
Well, here they are.
Oh, Hub, I was concerned.
Morning, young son. You know Lee Winters.
Good evening. It's lovely to have you here. Would you take her down by Max?
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Emery. I'm sorry we're late.
Don't worry about it. So glad you're here.
Hello, Max. Got caught in traffic. Lee, I'd like to meet Sal Naftari.
How do you do, Mr. Naftari?
Mrs. Winters, at last. I was beginning to be afraid I might not get to meet you.
For a few seconds there, I had doubts myself. But I can't tell you how happy I am that we made it.
No, Mrs. Winters, I was just telling Max before you came that I've just come back from Paris. The state of the dollar is a crisis. I don't know what your naughty bank is going to do to us next. But you know that I couldn't buy a single thing. It's awful. I'm going to have to wear American clothes all the time.
2%. Not this time.
Okay, 2.5.
8.
8? Why 8?
There's a woman. Makes it tougher. Hub. Get it out of your head. I've got a lock on this. These people are unpredictable. They make up their own minds. I'm only the agent. I can only make the introductions. The rest is up to you. If my deal is too rich, you're always welcome to try it on your own.
Okay.
Plus a fee of $300,000 for contingencies.
Such as?
If I knew they wouldn't be contingencies. I'll get right on it, providing a person's acceptable. Also, she'll have to travel. They'll want a meeting.
We welcome you.
Thank you, colleagues. We're glad to be here. My associate, Miss Winter.
How do you do?
Yeah, good as well. Please. Come. I believe you know my father, Ahmed.
Of course.
He thanks you for honoring us with your visit.
Not at all. You honor us with the invitation.
And Mrs. Winters?
How do you do?
تفضلوا بسم الله.
I feel like a beggar asking them for alms, and I hate it.
You and the rest of the world.
الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده
I thought we had an appointment.
الله أكبر
This is an appointment.
الله أكبر
Mrs. Winters? Yes. Oh, good to see you. To begin with, I'm sure you will be pleased to hear that we have decided to make the loan. But first, I think it best to go over this to make sure we are clear on the main points. Point one. The sum is to be 500 million, of course. For the plant in Valencia, the money to be drawn in units of 50 million.
At times to be negotiated.
Oh, yes, of course. Point two, Winterchem to hold title, but profits to be shared on an equal basis. Point three, Mrs. Winter's stock will stand as security for the entire transaction. Point four.
Excuse me. That means if something happens, I lose all my stock.
Mrs. Winters, I think I should tell you there are those in the family who do not think we should be making this offer at all. I assume if you could have found venture capital of this sort for a company like Winterchem in America, you would not be coming all the way to Arabia looking for it. If you are able to arrange better terms elsewhere, you are free to do so. Shall I continue? Point four. After repayment of the principal has been completed, all interest payments must be made by the 15th day of each month.
If we're ever cash short when a payment comes due, I could lose the whole company.
Don't worry, we'll cover you on that. The bank will cover you.
Don't like the risk.
I guess it depends on how bad you want to be the chairman.
Well, I guess I should call the cockpit. Have them radio in the office for the gory details.
Hey, that can work. This can't. You're really ticked off about the deal, aren't you?
I'm sorry. I don't like being dependent, that's all. I was never dependent on any one studio. I didn't depend on Charlie. And if anything goes wrong, I don't like being dependent on Borough National.
You mean me? Here. If you can't live with the deal, forget it. Tell New York the terms are unacceptable.
I warn you, I'm a problem. I am a bad person when I get in a corner.
Fine. If you get in a corner, tell me to go to hell. In business, that's the ground rules. But if you think the only thing we've been doing together is business, one of us is a fool.
Would you radio Winter Chem in New York, please? Tell them we've come to terms on the whole package. Well, you got your deal. Got what you want.
You know the first goddamn thing I want. It's not the deal. The world's full of deals. A partner's somewhat more rare.
I'm still not sure I trust you, you know.
That's a perfect basis for a partnership.
Okay, bounce him out of 20 million.
I thought you ought to see that. They just want us to hold it, not roll it over? Doesn't make sense. They'll lose a ton of interest if they don't redeposit that money. Must be a mistake asking us in it again.
You got it.
By the way, how much is the deposit for?
Altogether, 95 million. Rebecca, let's get a confirmation on that.
Better let me have the maturity schedules on those Saudi Eurodollar deposits we're holding.
The ones that are due now, or all of them?
It works.
What's going on?
19 deposits worth $5 million each are due, and the Saudis didn't give us disposition instructions. You got 23 more maturing in the next 3 weeks, which is $210 million altogether we're going to have to come up with if they decide not to roll over.
210 million, that's practically every cent we carry. That'll clean us out.
They can't just let that kind of money sit without earning interest. Even the Arabs aren't that rich. Maybe they'll advise us through their London affiliate. I hope.
40-60, anything there?
20-25. Wait about 5 minutes. That yen deal we lost, who was the customer and why do we lose it?
Pepsi Soil. First New York must have wanted to trade badly. They bid 1 point over market.
Mr. Naftari returning your call.
Yeah, put him on. I got 5 minutes to kill.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Some guys will go anywhere to find a topless beach. Hey, Sal, how's Monte Carlo, you turkey?
Not bad. Something on your mind?
No, nothing special, except your friend Dawa's here. Doesn't seem to have both his oars in the water.
What's going on?
Oh, they got a couple of Eurodollar deposits maturing. No big deal. But they're just letting them sit. Do you happen to know anything about it?
Nobody's talked to me. Haven't heard a word.
Well, Europe's going to start closing in a few minutes. They usually work through London and Zurich, and the interest they're losing is...
Well, what about it? Oh, you got a problem?
Hey, listen, if it's okay with them, it's just fine with me. What do I care?
Then there's no problem.
Yeah, kid, talk to you. Shit.
He said you don't seem to have both of your oars in the water.
You cannot pull $95 million in one chunk from a bank the size of Borough National. When I undertook to manage this plan, you agreed to do it gradually in small amounts. You're now starting to move billions in a matter of weeks.
The world economic situation is deteriorating more rapidly than we had thought. We don't think we can afford to wait, Max.
There will be no collapse in the foreseeable future unless you panic and start it with some damn fool move like this.
And if you are wrong, what then? We wake up one morning, our oil is gone. We find that we have sold all we have in exchange for paper money that is worthless.
You're risking immediate exposure.
We risk it every day. If Charles Winters could stumble on that account, it's just a question of time before someone else finds out. And when that happens...
No one else will find out if you revert to your original timetable.
All right, Max. We'll think about it. But I'm not sure what our answer will be.
You're playing with the end of the world, you know.
The end of the world, as you know it.
Europe's closing. I don't want anyone playing Euro.
Okay, let's hedge ourselves. Cover at least half the amount of the deposits for one day. First New York and Morgan, 24 million each.
Morgan, this is Borough National.
First New York, let me have your Fed funds desk. Listen, we got room for 24, 25. No problem. Get back to you.
Morgan claims they're tight
First
today.
New York's dry. Come back tomorrow if we have a problem. You know, this could be a real little situation here, Europe closing down. If we can't find the cash to cover those Euro-dollar deposits, we're shit out of luck.
Okay, try Boston and Chase, but that's it. Let's not blow it all over the street, as long as nobody else knows. Now, what the hell is that?
Dollar's dropping.
Dropping is going through the basement, for Christ's sake. Why?
Hey, Hub, it's Paris. They heard some big Arab money is pulling out here. They're going to start shorting dollars.
They're nuts. Negative. Kill those calls to Boston and Chase.
That's what they said.
Tell them we're buying.
We're buying.
Tell them.
Dollar dropping fast against marks. Add sterling and guilders to that.
Okay, just button up. No more calls go out of here until I tell you. Except you better call your mom or both of you. You're going to be late for supper.
Vince, the skill.
Yeah, right.
I'm bottom fishing. You got any ideas?
No. No, nothing definite. But I wanted to flag it with you guys at the Fed just in case.
Hang up.
No, not much. Maybe 100 mil or so.
Hang up that phone, Royce. Have me got. I'll tear it out of the wall.
Sorry, I'm getting a little static here. I'll be back to you. Look, Smith, you can save the dramatics for some other time.
Are you crazy? Are you right out of your fucking skull? Nobody knows we're broke. I'm busting my ass to act like business as usual, and you call the Federal Reserve Bank? Why not just take an ad in the New York fucking Times?
Everything is drying up on you out there. You can't get it anywhere. I say we go to the Fed and make a clean breast of it.
And blow everything. Look, the Fed will never find out. We'll issue some domestic CDs to cover the Eurodollar deposits. By the time we add up our tabs, it'll be 2 weeks from now. By then, everything will be fine. So we ran a little behind on our bookkeeping, so what?
You can't do that. That's illegal. That is criminal, for Christ's sake.
Mildly. We can get by with it for one night.
You do not know what's going to happen tomorrow.
You walk to the Fed. You let them know we're going broke, and I'll tell you what's going to happen. You won't open tomorrow. With the performance record you've had around here, they'll come in and shut our ass down for good. We just got to sweat it out and pray the Saudis roll over that 95 million before Europe opens in the morning. It's the only chance we got. Come on, Roy, where's your balls?
You're the one who's crazy. I don't know anything about this. I am not losing my deniability.
You can hide in the closet if you want to. You're staying right here. If I catch you on the phone, I'll break your fucking arm.
What are you going to do in the morning if the Saudis ask for that money?
Don't worry about it in the morning. I gotta get through the night first.
Sorry. Euro-dollar section says the market's getting worse. Liquidity's drying up.
How much of this is around the floor?
Some, not a lot.
Okay, here's the drill. For the rest of the afternoon, no strong positions, no exposure, but keep it humming. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Hong Kong opens 8 o'clock our time. Maybe they'll run it through them. After closing, you and Betsy stay. I'll get back from reception as soon as I can.
You're not going to that Lee Winters reception tonight, are you?
We're expected. And since the only conceivable reason for our absence would be a crisis at the bank, and since that's precisely what we don't want people to know what we're up to our ass in, one of us better be there. She's only the new chairman of the board of one of our biggest customers.
Excuse me just a second, Howard Betsy. Hello, Mr. Smith.
Good evening.
Are you over your jet lag?
Bankers aren't allowed to have jet lag.
Oh, no? I feel very lucky. Warner's just agreed to be chief operating officer.
Glad to hear it. Roy left Guard Center. Congratulations. He's a little under the weather.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I appreciate your being here. Thanks for your help.
I guess it's gonna work out all right.
N-A _L-E. Pomona.
Me, any joy?
Nothing moving here but the leaves on the trees. Hong Kong opens in 10 minutes. You want me to take a sniff?
And have it hit Paris through the back door? Better not. How's our friend bearing up?
I think he has visions of numbers on his chest.
He's not the only one. Let's keep the hatches battened down, not a word. Well, that sounds fine. Just keep tracking. We could get a move out of it. I'll check in myself if I get a chance.
The bank.
I might have to drift over there for a couple of minutes.
Tonight?
Nothing they couldn't